will pick up instantly. So they're all comfortable again. Group of 8. Pity the poor guy that's just come in shot there on his own. And so they'll come round. Fairly uneventful leg down the back end of the lake there, and it will all start kicking off at the one of the big all-time stars. He's got 5 World Championship medals already. He's still got time for a couple more maybe. He's up there. He's sort of he's 6th ranking superstar of all time at the moment. He's on equal 5 with Hank McGregor and myself. I've got to put myself in there, Stefan.
Absolutely, you've got to.
Although it's very unlikely they'll be getting any more. No. whereas Merchant, he's still got a chance of a couple more. So, and the same goes for Hank McGregor. Obviously, they're still in the game.
Yes.
I think it's a long road back for me now, Stefan. Maybe too long.
Yeah.
So they're up there on 5 goals, just behind Anna Hemmings on 6. Manuel Busto, also retired now, on 10. That's a big target to reach, even from 5, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
That's a lot. And then you're up into the true superstars, if you like, Yore, Zay and Chabai on. She obviously didn't make the cut, so I'm thinking 4.
4, yeah, maybe so.
I'll make 5, so she must be on 4. I'm guessing. Anyone who got 5 made the shortlist. The main reasoning for 5 being the end of the shortlist was, of course, that I made that cut.
Sure. It's a little bit unfair, though, to all of the old guys, including yourself, because the World Championships was only every 2nd year back then.
Yeah, and the unfairness extends, because you go back to the previous generation. You're looking at people like Alan Williams, who were the true superstars of their era.
Yes.
They never even had. Well, Alan did have one opportunity to get a medal at Nottingham, but by then he was past his prime.
Yeah.
And people like that really were true.
Merchant, Boros, Alonso, Graziani, Ramalho, Adam Faria, Urban, and Hamar. Hamar is still 10 seconds behind there, so that was maybe the lonely rider there after the top group that we saw.
Only 7 seconds off the back of the group.
Yeah.
It's still close. No idea how to break his armour was Lars Koch.
Yes.
Because he was prepared to work all day every day if he had to do that. His acceleration was phenomenal. He had the death stare that Merchant's got. He had everything. What could you do to the man? And tactically brilliant as well, and absolutely phenomenal. And for me, if you have to list the superstars in order, he would be
one of them.
For me, he's definitely up the top end.
Absolutely. Tor Nielsen as well.
Tor Nielsen maybe not as technical as, but then you've got other people who never made the big time. I'm thinking of the Dutch guy, Rick Dahmen.
Rick Dahmen, yeah.
Now there was someone who could find a wash if there was a duck on the lake. He would find a wave off a duck, you know, and he was someone who, when I was growing up as a child, that my father used to make me watch and see how he raced.
It was fun with him because I never got beaten from him, because it was quite easy to cut him off the wash.
Okay. But I think he always wanted you to cut him off the wash, because there was always a better wash just behind. And he was not only did he was a great technician, but there was a man who loved the sport, wasn't there? He enjoyed every race he went in. He used to race the 10Ks at the Sprint World Championships. Did a great job of that. And there are so many skillful people out there through generations who don't arrive on this list of top medalists.
Sure.
It's too busy talking about external stuff there, but hey,
it's a long race.
That's the trouble with old people. They reminisce. Yeah. They reminisce rather too much sometimes.
But it's a long race.
We are going to have to fill the time with something, and especially when they're at the top end of the course in the rather fortunate, really, heat haze. I mean, for the spectators, it couldn't be better. For the paddlers, maybe they're suffering a little bit in the heat. So again, Merchan, Alonso, beautifully safe there. I think it looks like Romalo tucked in the back now. He'll be relieved to have got into a safe position. And it kicks off again. No, it didn't. I was looking out, just at the back of that group there was a flurry that you can't see on screen. So there's a little bit, it may be that Hamar has closed the gap and he was trying to make an impact on the back of the group just to find some safety. So sorry, I was talking about something that you couldn't see. Here they come, they're coming into the turn before the portage, so this will be their second portage of how many?
Seven.
Second?
7. 8 laps, 7 portages. Each lap is about 4 kilometers, and then after the final portage it's 500 meters to go to the finish.
So 2 portages done already. This is going to be their third. At the moment it's the same 4 usual suspects in that front 4 for the portage.
And Matthias Hamar is still struggling a bit, but he looks quite comfortable. Or has he given up? He's paddling very, very slow.
So the Spanish will go, I'm pretty sure, to the left of the pontoon. He did it on the last lap, they'll do it again. But see how much control Merchan's got over that group. No one's really prepared to take him on.
It's in that stage of the race.
The side.
Yeah, he knows that the Spaniards are taking the right hand side, so he's choosing the left together with the Boros.
So let's see if Hamar's learned anything from the last portage. Watch him in the one time on the last one, and he's coming in same place as before but much cleaner out. At least he's going to maintain contact with the group this time. But Merchan up and away, Boros, Alonso and Faria, and they're the 4. They're
Graziani.
comfortable. Graziani next, he needs to get in his boat quickly. And well, there you see Alonso, as we've told you before, never put your boat inside, but he did put his boat inside.
Yeah, he did.
But you know why? Because he knew exactly that Merchan was going.
Yes.
There was no doubt in his mind. He knew the story.
Once again, Boros heading first out from the portage. Yes.
It's kind of ominous for the other guys. They haven't seen Merchan or Alonso make a single mistake.
No. Faria perfect there on the Diamond Wash.
Faria spent a long time there now, and both the fast legs. So Romalo's the next one in, and really he's got to do something to break into. Portage so well. We may get a shot of them soon. There's still a couple of people out of shot.
It's Hamar
on your screen.
Hamar that once again have some trouble there. Have a couple of seconds now, maybe 25 meters to keep up with them. Another quite unlucky portage for Hamar.
How many times can you be unlucky, Stefan, before you learn?
Yes, before you learn. And also how many the gap. I think this will be hard for him now.
I think, yeah, it definitely is going to be. On the graphic they've got Urban up in the running there. That's coming into the portage.
I saw Hamar early on this season in Stockholm, doing a marathon race there, a selection race.
So Faria on that graphic came in at the back of that group.
Ah, that's right.
And came out at the front of that group.
He's
that's someone who's well organised.
Yes, a fast runner. I've seen that before as well.
He came in on the diamond, obviously took a bit of time getting out, and when
he actually gained something over this portage.
Yeah. But there at the front, you got.
As you said, sometimes it's better to take it nice and easy and run quickly.
Especially with the runs the length they are now. I mean, in the old days when you had 300-400 meter run, if you ran that quickly, you didn't have any arms when you got back in the boat for a good. Only short 100 meters, and you can run that pretty much full pelt and still have some arms left at the end of it.
Exactly.
So it's all kicking off in the front group again. Just those same patterns repeat and repeat and repeat. Each time they have a spurt, the same guys end up at the back, the same guys end up at the front, and every time it's a little bit more hard work for the people who are already suffering. See the extreme changes of direction? Now the easiest way to climb a wash is at 90 degrees to that wave. It's the quickest way over a wave. If you can get your body to go over that wave at 90 degrees, that's the wave done and dusted. If you crawl up it at an angle, you spend an awful lot of time going uphill, and that's why you see them move out at such extreme angles. Again, it all settles down. I'm not sure who that is out to the right, but he's obviously got some work to do. Just been joined in the commentary box by the legend that is Jim Rutter. On you, Jim, with the volume of the local guy.
Well, indeed, it's a sort of a challenge.
A challenge is a nice way of describing it, but you're doing a fine job. Everyone appreciates you being here. Eight paddlers again, one out to the back still, but when you see a group like that stop, you've got a small opportunity of at least halving the distance on them.
Exactly.
And you can see that in the background there, he is working away, and are they going to let him come all the way in? To be fair, they don't really care either way. He's already too tired.
Yeah.
He can join the group, he can tag along if he wants, but essentially those front guys have written him off.
But Hamar is there now. I think he didn't hesitate to wait a little bit behind there. And
is that still him out on the right hand side, Stefan?
Yes, yes.
He seems to like it out
yes. there. And you see, you got a little bit seasick out from this camera because it's on a very small pontoon out there.
It's on a pontoon not only with a cameraman but with some judges
exactly,
as well. So
exactly.
Any movement from any of those people, and it gives you the authentic feel of being out on the water, though.
Exactly.
You can sit at home in the comfort of your own room, in your sofa, and feel like you're part of this race.
And it's better than helicopters out there that
absolutely.
we used
It's
to have.
An experience that we've given you. It's like a 3D experience. It's the extra dimension to your viewing pleasure that we've given you at no extra charge.
Got a feeling of the sea.
So Romalo now, I would think he'd be quite pleased to be there now. He's been struggling out the back for a while. I know there's no speed in the group now and it's just downtime for everyone, but at least he's got a bit of space around him at last. He's not struggling to find what's left over after the other guys have taken their pick.
He doesn't use any energy in front there now.
He's using his time at the front for recovery.
Yes, exactly.
And if the others are going to let him do that, then he's going to take every minute of recovery he can get.
It's comfortable.
Doesn't look too uncomfortable for the Spanish either, does it? There?
He's the only one paddling one of those nice new boats.
I know, and it's interesting with the new boats. You know, I remember
exactly.
And you're comfortable with it. And to do a change as big as the new version of the boat is a big deal. Now Romalo, I think you can assume probably there's been a bit of pressure on him from Nello themselves. He's very highly associated with Nello, so he's been put in the new boat. But I've practiced in the new boat myself in wash hanging scenarios like this at home. Obviously not to this level, but this sort of number of people, and I absolutely love that boat. And it gives the same feel on the washes because there's volume behind you. It gives you the same feel that the old-fashioned boats did with the wide backs. So it's very positive. It's got a very positive feel, which up till now the skinny boats haven't had. It's taken away some of that feel because there's just not enough volume for the wave to lift you at the back. But this new boat, I love it. I mean, it would ideally for Nello it will win this race, but I can't see that happening today. Romalo doesn't look to be on his best form, and those Spanish just look ominously strong.
So we've got 18 now.
Well, that's Jim blasting us out with the local tannoy system. Just asserting his authority over us there. And here we go. It's all starting to kick off again.
Into the turn.
Of leaving anyone behind. It's totally to do with reshuffling. It's a reshuffle of that group. Everyone wants a position of safety.
Soon we will have the graphics once again. Quite high speed now.
It's quite hard to see there. Cut the preview.
Passing the station with the graphics, the intermediate time. We got it soon.
Is that Hamar struggling on the back of that group?
I think so.
Or is it Romalo? No, it's Romalo just hitting the front now.
Romalo is still in front. So
And
we
he's actually pushing around and take, I think, Merchan off that side wash. Merchan pretty much said no. Now, if somebody says no to you once, you probably have to listen to that. And you try a different side, you try a different tactic. So Merchan Alonso, left and right of the leader. Again, I think Romalo, because Merchan's not someone who minds being put back in. So neither of them want to lead, but they each want to reorganise their position. So it's going to be maybe Alonso taking the lead from here. And Romalo's just had two fairly concerted efforts absolutely denied by Merchan. Merchan knows what that means to him, and be assured that Romalo knows exactly what that means to him also. But now it's settled. Merchan comfortable. They're starting to say, I don't want to be in the backlog anymore. Romalo, yet another attempt. Be interesting to see how this one pans out. The only way he's going to get to the front and comfortable is if he leads. But finally, Merchan, he's decided he's going to take it on for a little while. That's probably because they're coming again within striking distance of the portage, and Merchant does not want to be pinged down the back through that group before the portage arrives. Romalo cut him out and take the best wash there.
Nine in the group now. Quite a big group. Behind. So have a long way to paddle on their own.
There's definitely no safety net there, is there? If you fall off, is that someone falls off with you, and if you're brutal about that and you're falling off, you might take someone with you.
Yeah,
and that's your only chance of remaining safe. To fall off that group on your own is a dangerous game.
Seems like Ramalho is a little bit more decisive now into this portage.
He's come in the first four on a lot of the portages, but he hasn't come out well, has he?
No.
Learning process for him on that, actually knowing where to pick up the boat and run with it. Maybe that's why he can't get comfortable.
Into the portage once again now. Ashan, Ramalho making an effort. He don't want to be left behind once again. No, he
does not care.
No, he does not care.
Absolutely doesn't care.
Boros does not care. Faria does not care. Let him do it.
Romalo in first.
No problem. Yeah, you were right there.
He's just not happy picking the boat out of the water, is he?
Exactly. He had a bow down.
And that's exactly why maybe you don't try new equipment at the European Championships.
Ashan, Ramalho, Alonso, Faria. Faria lost some ground by that.
But we know he portages well.
Yes.
And if those four, 2 Portuguese, 2 Spanish, can get away in a group of 4, there could be a lot of communication there.
It could.
So who's first away? Looks like Merchant, and he's not going to go and do anything, is he? He doesn't.
He's just waiting there now, relaxing.
He's waiting. He's probably kicking himself a little bit that he worked as hard as he did over that portage.
Watch him now.
He had a bit of downtime. And where are the others? You know, the others were rushing through the portage, but where are
Boros is there now.
Yeah, and Boros, he's the one who panics. Okay?
Yes.
He's not as confident as Merchant, who clearly, and there's the bow of Romalo's boat in the top 4. But they're all there. That's a little bit more manageable. It's down to 6.
8.
Only 6 in that group. There were 8 coming in, or maybe even 9 coming in.
9 coming in. And now there are 6. So even if it was quite relaxed after the portage, there were some guys that really dropped off. And Boros, Alonso are there. Mashan, of course. Ramalho. I think it's Graziani on the right hand side there.
Yeah. How was Alonso coming? Not one little bit. Not one little bit.
It's a gap now.
Yeah, but it's a gap that will close very quickly if they don't actually move. Yeah, they've literally stopped, haven't they? So the 2 guys behind, again, they'll see an opportunity to close, but how many times?
Hamar once again.
We didn't really watch Hamar on that portage. We were looking more at Romalo that time.
Yes.
So I didn't really see how Hamar got that far behind. But there he is. They're going to be back. It's going to be back to the same group of 8 that came into the portage. And to some that might seem a little bit futile.
Yeah.
That they've made no progress. But they have made some progress. They've learned quite a lot. Romalo's gained a lot of confidence from that, hasn't he? That he came in, he could drop a lot of that group coming in.
And probably he needed that confidence.
Yeah, Alonso didn't look like he needed any more confidence than he already had. Merchan was challenged, wasn't he, by Romalo? It wasn't easy for him coming in there and getting in first. So maybe that's dented Merchan a little bit as far as Romalo's concerned. But how much fun is this to watch? It's fantastic. If we could, in the big picture, if finally you could have a drone over that group and see the movement around the group, that would be absolutely awesome. I mean, it's only a matter of time, isn't it? Before that sort of thing happens.
It is. This time we have 4 cameras and 4 cameramen running it. It's a question of money to put in more, but money will come in if we have good production. So
you see the drones that react to a tab that the person has on them. I mean, if you had a tab on 3 or 4 of those and 3 or 4 drones ahead, that's maybe a good few collisions between the drones. but wouldn't it be a great view to have?
Absolutely. It's always parts to improve, which also make our work sound interesting.
It would certainly give you a different viewpoint to commentate from, wouldn't it? A view from above, and then you'd see the dance, wouldn't you? The dance that is that changing the whole time, and it is like it's a structured movement. It looks fairly random from the side because you only see the flurry, but from above you'd see the way the whole thing is there's a beauty to it that you don't see or you don't understand unless you've been there. The way people make room for other people, they see their gap closing down, they start to move out from an unsustainable position. That you can see time and time again. So as they disappear up into the heat haze, a little bit of action at the back of the group. So there's a lot more action at the back of the group than at the front of the group, and that's just a bit of an illustration as to how you have to keep rearranging yourself at the back there. The front stays relatively calm.
It's interesting to see as well that it is the same guys in the top all the time. It's Merchan, it's Alonso, sometimes Ramalho, and from now on I think we Boros.
Yeah. Certainly Boros, Merchan and Alonso are consistently in that front 4.
Yes. And
they spend less time outside that front 4 than any of the others.
I think Ramalho wants to be among the top guys always from now on. Now I think it's Hamar up there doing some work.
Yeah.
Matthias Hamar, I saw him in May in Stockholm doing a race, and he's strong this year. He can do a lot of work himself. Matthias Hamar, who were 3rd last year at the World Championships after Ramalho and Alonso. Merchan didn't do K1 then.
You see a rare example there of Merchan's been pushed to the back of the group. He can work his way up fairly confidently, I would imagine. He's just taking a break in one of the back end V washes, diamond washes. He'll rest there. You can see how relaxed he is, still low hands, low shoulders, no stress going through that at all. Happy to wait there, and at some stage you'll see him come round and join back in the front 4. So a moment, it's Alonso in the diamond, equally rested. Merchan directly behind him, and a diamond further back down the group. And at this speed, no one's really stressed. But I'll tell you who is stressed, Romalo. Look at the splash of the paddle from Boros hitting Romalo in the chest time and time again as they went round that turn. So when the angles of the turn come in, Romalo gets that shovel full of water right into his face and his chest. And that wears a bit thin after a couple of hours, I imagine.
Yes. Maybe he's just now enjoying it because of the heat. It's really hot.
So Portugal 2 and 3 there, and Boros has finished his turn, and he pretty much announced that by stopping paddling.
Quite surprising that Faria is...
Here comes Merchan round the outside. He'll come all the way round, not too much of a flurry, but when he joins in, probability is that he'll be back in that front group. A little bit of hesitation there, and sadly we haven't got the camera angle to see what happened. We'll only find that out when they come back down into camera view. Corinne of Belgium there was one of those two people who appeared to be closing. It's hard to tell with the camera angles, but even if they do close, they're not going to do any damage to the main contenders, so whether they close or not is of no consequence to these leaders. So up in the heat haze there. During these slow periods, you take the advantage of that to maybe have a sip on your drink, rehydrate as best you can. And get as much relaxation in as you can. Get any waste products out of your muscles. A few deep breaths. But constantly keep an eye out for something that might happen in a minute. Just watch the movement of other people. Know who's behind you, know who's in front of you, and know what they're capable of doing. That's the key to understanding your position in that group. So a little breeze picking up on the lake now. They're coming into that now, a little slight headwind, really minor, but at least that will keep them cooler than when they're paddling up away from the commentary position. They're headed back towards it now, and so the games begin again. A few flurries, and people at the back struggling just a little. I really don't have a clear enough view of who's who to give you any sensible information, but I can see that Merchan, as we suspected, is on that lead wash again. During a time where the group was really slowed down, but he didn't come halfway up the group and take a break. He came from the back to the front. It got the job done in one go. It got the job done in a very positive way, and that is the most efficient way of doing it. Now to his right, the lead has been taken up. So you got Alonso to his left. I can't see who's to his right, and Merchan will happily ride that V between the two. I really apologise for that. So that's just confirmation of who's in that front group. There's a 43-second gap back to, I think it was actually two paddlers there. On the graphic it came up as one, but I think Corinne is also there. Number 555 from Belgium. And so the rotations continue. See Romalo uncomfortable with his position on the far side. he's got the two Spanish to his right. They're not both going to let him in. So his choice at this stage really is to get ahead, do a little bit of leading, and hope the group forms around him. Now he's okay again because Merchan's leading, and that gives him the in to get on the front wash. Find yourself a comfortable position with group. Merchan never flustered. And we'll just sit and let this play out until the group come back into sight. They're about 3 minutes from the turn buoy before they come into the next portage. Now I started off crossing off the portages as they came in, and I stopped my crossing after 2. So at some stage I'll need to find out how many laps they've done again, and we can work out from there where exactly they are in the race. So change of leader there. And we're back up to 10 people in the group. So Corin caught up with whoever he was with, and that's how slow the front group's been travelling. It may seem odd to you that they're prepared to let people catch up, but they really don't care. The main contenders there are so confident in their ability to manipulate that group that a couple of people tagging on the back is neither here nor there for those guys. So it could be 353, 573 rather, leading. So I thought that was Faria in the Faria in the polka dot boat. I obviously read the number wrong of the leader. Well, we'll get there for you. Here they come around the turn, and interestingly, it's not the main four in the lead. In fact, watch Merchan there, he's right at the back of that group. And that, I don't know, is a little bit surprising. Even if you're confident, I wouldn't think you'd want to be there. Faria, Romalo coming in. We've got cameras dipped behind the tree, which is unusual.
It's Faria and it's Ramalho and it's Udvarko. Jakob, I mean.
There goes Romalo. Romalo learnt. Got Alonso this side, pink nose boat. Just as relaxed as before. But Romalo also looking a lot more relaxed this time.
And it's Pedersen. Max Pedersen is the Dane. The young Dane there, 579. Quite amazing. Can that be true? Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
It is.
He's one of the people who've closed up on the group. And not only is he closed up, but now a little bit of a mistake by him. Too much rushing. He's ended up stood in the water. And all that effort just to do something fancy. He had to stand up in his boat like all juniors do. They all think they can stand up in their boat and get out while it's moving. When will they learn that? This sort of stuff looks great at home on the landing stage in front of your mates.
Or if you have trained it a lot.
That's when it looks good. When you've got your mate on his little GoPro to film you doing something fancy on your own, that's when you stand up in your boat. Not at the European Championships. Guys, grow up.
I've done it several times at the Worlds, actually, but then I was in the lead to do it.
So. He wasn't in a position there to do anything fancy. I mean, what did he try?
This is Ramalho. Ramalho is going now. A very, very great portage of Ramalho. We were a little bit dubious on his ability to portage, but now he's back in his former skill of portaging, and now he's in splendid isolation. He has a lead of about 30-40 meters now, and hunting is Faria, and Alonso seems that if Ramalho just go for it, Ramalho, go for it, because your teammate is slowing down the group now. This is an excellent example of team racing. Faria is heading the group. He's paddling really, really slow, letting Ramalho go and fly away. Ramalho is going. He has seen that now, and now he's going really, really quick. Very, very interesting development of this portage.
So I'm going to take the position of the two Spanish guys here. They're the two strong guys in the race. They know that gap can only open up so much. They're gambling on somebody closing the gap for them, but also they know while know while Ramalho's out the front there, he has to work hard. And if they can make him work hard for a long time, then maybe that will play into their hands also. But that's a big gap.
Experienced guy, it's Max Pedersen from Denmark. Mads Pedersen, who won the Junior World Championships last year, has starting the hunt. Very, very unexpected, and he has Emilio Marchand on his left side, and he
I'm going to give Marchand and Alonso the benefit of the doubt here. I think they're measuring that gap well. I think they're going to allow Pedersen to close it as best he can. They're happy that Ramalho's working hard. It's just two different ways of looking at the same scenario. I think the Spanish are probably in control of this situation at this stage. Pedersen, he's the one. He's prepared to do the work. He's put his paddles down now though, and sooner or later those Spanish will make a concerted effort to close that gap, but not before they've hung Ramalho out to do 4 or 5 minutes solid work by himself.
Yes, could be. This is a very similar situation that we are used to seeing in bicycling or close seconds.
Wait and wait and wait. They're taking it easy on Pedersen's wash, and they can close. So I think maybe he's hanging himself here.
Maybe. Up.
This is really tense for both the Spanish. Even if they're resting on that wash, they're